1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and when you stand in the sunshine, I can see your hairline glow. Oh, oh, and if you break my heart, I'll tear you apart. I know, I know, I know.
Party started.
All right.
Welcome, everyone. We're here, another episode of If It Be Your Will podcast, trying to find the most amazing indie artists out there worldwide. And I have a very nice treat for us today. I'm reaching down to Austin, Texas, and I have Zane Ruttenberg, who is Thanks Light, a great psych rock band. I mean, they got some tropical influences, country influences. It's whimsical, it's fun. It just makes me feel like I miss summer. That's definitely. But Zane, thanks so much, man, for coming on here. I've really been enjoying. Zane just put out this record called Good Timing, just this year, and it's just been blasting through my speakers for a pretty steady since it's come out, I'd say. So thanks for putting that out, Zane. It's amazing.
Oh, man. No, that makes me so happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing that.
It's a record that's so individual too. Like, you don't hear those sounds much, but we'll talk about that record in a little bit. But I like to start these off, Zane, with just a little. Where did all this start for you? Like, where did music start to become like, hey, I think I might like this, and maybe I want to try to see if I can pursue this as a part of who I am.
I've been obsessed with music. I mean, since I think I first heard it in my dad's car when I was, growing up. My dad and mom had great taste in music. You know, I grew up listening to like the Byrds, Neil Young, obviously the Beatles, but like the Beach Boys, the Rolling Stones, just like all those classics, right? And I really love like just harmony, vocal harmony. And I think a lot of that probably had to do with the fact that I grew up listening to Brian Wilson's compositions and the Byrds, who I think are like peak classic rock harmony bands. Totally. Just absolutely angelic vocals. So yeah, I mean, it's been ever since I was little, I've been obsessed. You know, my family used to say I had tunes in my head because I was singing all the time. And then when I was 10 years old, I got my first guitar and it was all over from there, And more than anything, I wanted to be in a band. I love songwriting, but I love the idea of being in a band. So I think a lot of my identity revolves around bringing me and my friends together to try and make songs. That to me is just fun because, I've definitely recorded and written a lot of stuff by myself, but there's just so much more satisfaction to me in collaboration with music.
Right.
And I tend to find that the songs end up stronger, if it's done right, if you're honest with each other. And sometimes it's hard to be honest with each other. So
it's a fragile relationship at times, being in a band, because you're revealing really personal things about you to someone else that you want to trust and confide in, but that they also see what you were trying to see or put forth what you were trying to put forth. Could you tell us, Zane, like, you before we hopped on, you had mentioned a collaborator that you had worked a lot with. Can you explain that relationship and the length of time that you guys have collaborated for and what's kept that alive for so many years?
Yeah, I mean, my dear friend Michael Frels, I've been working with him on music, God, I mean, forever, since we were like 19. So 20 years probably now. And we've been in, I think, three or four bands. I think 3 bands, if I can remember correctly. I mean, he's just kind of been, Thanks Light started as a solo project when I was in high school. And then I went to college and did a bunch of other bands. And I really liked the name and came back to it. And as a solo project, I brought it back as like a full band where it was almost like I kind of almost describe it as like an art collective. Right. I'm usually doing the visual stuff, but as far as like the arrangements and like creating ideas, I have like this rotating cast of friends that I've worked with over the years. you know, some have left and come back. We just had one of our buddies, Paul. He was a drummer on 3 records, and he came back to play drums and guitar for our album release party.
That's wicked.
And so, yeah, I mean, the collaboration's a big part of this project, and Michael Frels has been a very consistent part of that for a lot of this project's life.
What does Michael see in what you bring to him? Like, does he have a similar approach when you bring him something new, or does it always kind of vary depending on what the album is or what the track is?
It's so interesting. We come from such different aspects of music. He is a classically trained pianist that was like top of his class at the University of Texas.
Oh.
He's been a music teacher for like 20 years now. So he just eats, sleeps, and breathes music. And and like he's kind of like the more classical theory side of it, and then I'm more like very much a singer-songwriter side of it, where the music is a huge part of it, but also to me, it's like the concept of the song, the lyrics, the hook, all that. And so we kind of approach it from 2 different sides, which is actually, I think, great. It shows a very different perspective on the music. And I feel like it really like reinforces it. And I think for him, a lot of what's so interesting, and we've talked about this, is that I know a fair amount of music theory. I've taught myself a lot over the years, but I come from a very untrained background. I mean, it's a very like punk rock ethos, what I've come from. And he's a very classical trained pianist. So you have this like punk rock songwriter and this classical pianist, meeting together.
Merging.
Yeah. And that, in a lot of ways you get all my influences in there as well. So it's just like, it's really interesting to have somebody from that other side of the spectrum. And I think that my untrainedness to him, I just kind of stumble into these interesting musical compositions that are kind of I'm very ear trained, very ear trained. So I think that it's just like I'm going off a lot of impulse and feeling. And I think as a classical musician, he's like very like intrigued by the fact that he's like, sometimes it'll be like, you did this crazy thing where you did this thing and then you changed to this thing. And it's like, really? And I'm just like, I don't know. I just thought it sounded cool, man. Like, so it's like, it's really funny.
Just thought I should play a little lower on the neck
this chord sounded weird and I liked it, it's just like, so it's a really funny, great relationship. And, also just like shout out to the other guys that we've been working with forever, Wes Sims and Giuseppe Ponti, like they're my homies that like we've been working on this the Good Timing record together. And I really appreciate just like all my friends who have helped me, and the music wouldn't be the same without them. Like everybody's thumbprints are all over it. And to me, I really love it. It kind of shows like different chapters, because I mean, gosh, we're we've had so many different people come through this group, and so to me, it's always been such a they come through. I kind of think of it as them kind of helping sail a ship, kind of a little bit, right? We all get on and we sail from one island to the other, and then some people are like, "I'm getting off."
And you got Good Timing playing in the back.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm like, later, all right, we'll be back. And some other people jump on and they help sail the ship to the other island. And it's kind of like the metaphor I've always thought about it, because it is a journey and it does get tough. And you end up just like so close to these people because you've been so vulnerable with them. You've slept in crappy rooms in other cities with them. You've seen them at their best and their worst, and they've seen you at your best and your worst. So
there's not much place to hide anymore, right? It's just like, who I am. Know why I did that. Truly. Or how I responded this
truly
way.
You spend a week in a van with somebody and there's nowhere to hide, so
that's it. But Zane, I mean, your writing is prolific. I mean, you have a catalog that's like, this is not your first record. I think the first record, 2008, was the one I found, Mother Kissed the Sun, which is just you stripped down, beautiful. I mean, it's just such a singer-songwriter, indie folky, like really touching album, I find.
Thank you.
And then it goes to the next, then you have Alive and Naked and The Hallucinations and Cyclonaut and American Hamburger. And like, from 2008 pretty much to right now, you've been putting a record out each year, every other year. How do you approach writing all these songs? Like, how do they come to you? Like, could you maybe like open that box up on Zane's process of songwriting and how songs come to you?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds so cliche, and I feel like I hear this a lot, but it's like it really is like lightning strikes, you know? And like
Mm,
sometimes I'll have like a phrase rattling around in my head for like a month, a year.
mm,
Sometimes I'll get a verse and I'll have it for 10 years. I'm not even kidding. I mean, a song on
wow.
wildcatting I wrote when I was 27 and got put out when I was 30, 36. You know, and
Amazing.
it took a
Yeah.
long time. It took me 10 years to write the verse and record it with a band and get a version that I liked and put it on a vinyl record.
Mm, mm,
And so like for me, it's like it all starts with lightning strikes and I hear a hook, and
right.
then
Is that a phrase, Zane, like you're saying? Like you'll hear words in your head, or do you sometimes pick your guitar up and then it would, escalate that faster?
it's like it like gets beamed. I mean, this sounds so fun. It like gets beamed in. You know, it's
Mm,
like there's suddenly I'm singing this melody and I don't know where this melody came from.
right.
Or, you know, I was playing around with some wordplay in my head. And, you know, like the song I Am Fire, for example, I wrote that. That was on Wildcatting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I just thought of that word, I am fire, because I was just like, I was kind of like really hating on myself one day. I woke up hungover.
Mm,
Um, I had gone on a really bad date the night before, and just kind of sabotaged the whole thing. And I literally woke up in bed the next day and I just said, I am fired to myself. And then it just stuck with me for like months. It just rattled
mm,
around in my head. And eventually that turned into a song. So sometimes it starts with a phrase,
mm.
you know, my wife will say something and then I'll go, that's a song lyric, or that's a hook. You know, there's
Right.
something there, you know, and I'll write it down. I have like it's all over the place, scraps of paper in my notes in my phone. I mean,
Mm.
I'm ADHD to all hell. And so
Mm, mm.
it's just like very just like, I mean, you know, you kind of get a sense from my office, but it's just like it's a total just like
Right. Right.
mess in here in a good way. It's my mess.
Well, I mean,
Um,
it's your mess. So I'm sure you could. I ask you for one thing, you'd know exactly where it is, right? So
right. Oh,
it's
totally. Totally.
perception, I guess, in a
Totally.
sense. Um,
Um,
yeah, that's
but yeah,
so.
sorry.
It's kind of like gathering from here, there, and everywhere, just
Yeah,
through processing life and experiences, and
always, right?
mm,
Like, 'cause, I mean, it has to like my ultimate goal is to connect with somebody,
right,
right, out there. And that's what like great music does to me is it's like somebody like reaches out through time and space and they have this idea and it resonates with you.
mm,
And like that's my ultimate goal. And so it's like if I'm writing, I need to write something that like means something to me. So
right,
hopefully it means something out there to somebody else. And
totally,
so it's always coming from like a genuine, earnest place of just like existence as a human here on earth and just
right,
like kind of the human condition. That's kind of my like mantra.
okay,
And
mm,
um and so it's like, okay, the song beams in, right? I get like a scrap of the song, and sometimes I'll flesh out like a demo on my phone. So there on my phone, there's just all these crappy demos,
mm,
and I'll record it, and then I'll usually have it bouncing around in my head for a couple of days, and it'll either get stuck or not. And
mm,
I think a lot of that relies on like the hook and the melody. And sometimes I'll come back and be like, "This is crap," and just
mm,
throw it in the trash. And then sometimes I'll come back and
mm,
be like, "This is going on the next record." And
cool,
for me,
yeah,
it's constantly catch up. I have 3 records I'm about to start recording, one of which I segmented off that's going to be like a different thing, and
mm,
2 others that I kind of have plans for. And it's just like
amazing, wow,
constantly catching up with myself and trying to clear my plate kind of thing of ideas I have. And I want to get them recorded and out while they're still fresh and inspiring to me too. So
totally,
it's like there's like
totally,
this like perfect moment where you
mm,
have like I think for some songs like they kind of fizzle out um if you don't record them fast enough. It's almost like they kind of have a shelf life.
right,
Um,
right.
so
And when you finally have come to, okay, I have kind of an idea of what I want to do, I have basic structure, lyrics, maybe you have to add a couple in, adjust, whatever. When you bring them to your collaborators, is it pretty much settled how the song structure is going to be, or do they add, change, you know, like do you allow going off on different lanes and, oh, let's try that out, and or we'll add that in there? Like, when you bring your songs, are they pretty much the way you want them, or you're saying, here's a song, let's have fun?
It really varies song to song. Like
Mm,
sometimes I'll come in and be like, this got to be the arrangement.
mm,
And then sometimes I'll come in and be like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll come in and be like, this bass line is an essential part of the hook. And, Juice, I need you to learn this exact bass line.
okay.
Or sometimes I'll be like, I don't know, it's a country beat. You play to the kick, figure it out. So it really just like it
Yeah.
really does vary song to song. And I think a lot
Mm,
of it just depends on what I've put together in the demo process, because sometimes with a song, like the bass is an essential component, and the bass has to be a certain way for it to work with the hook or the
right.
timing. Sometimes it's like these certain elements are really important to like making a composition a composition. It's like, what if this is a funny, okay, of course, this is the first example. I don't know why Guns N' Roses came to my mind, but it's like, okay, Slash comes in and plays the riff for "Sweet Child of Mine," right?
Mhm.
That's an essential element of what you think of when you think of that song, and like it
Right,
wouldn't be "Sweet Child of Mine" if they had changed that riff, maybe, right?
right,
And
right,
so when Slash and Axl were writing that song together, that was kind of like that was like a no-brainer that wasn't going
right,
to get changed. Or
right.
maybe they didn't
Yeah,
quite have it when they went into the studio, and the other guitarists, like, who knows? But it's like,
yeah.
it's
It's a good
very,
example there, Zane. I like that. I like it. That makes a ton
yeah,
of sense, you know?
first
Like,
thing came to
there's
mind,
just
right?
some certain things that are there that you produced or created, and you're just like, no, it's really got to stay really close to that, because
Right.
that's the
Yeah.
essence of the song right there. You know, it gives people that marker of, ooh, this song,
Right.
as opposed to any other. Um, and I was curious too, like, have you found that you're well, I mean, it's obvious, but maybe let me rephrase it. How did you come to creating this style of good timing? Because when I listened to the earlier records,
Mhm.
I mean, Wildcatting and, American Hamburger, I mean, they have that psych and that dusty, country tinge and stuff to them. But then
Sure.
you've brought Byrds in, you, as you referenced before, the Beach Boys and Brian Wilson. It just feels, one of your critics, I'll read what they quoted it this way: a hammock drifting island infused record. Now, is that what you were out to make when you
Yeah.
started Good Timing?
hmm Yeah, I mean, I'm slowly settling in, I think, on this style that I want to try and make for a while,
Mm,
but it's going to shift. It's like it's the next record is going to sound like this, but I really want. It's funny. I grew up listening to a lot of Jimmy Buffett,
mm,
and along with classic rock, along with punk rock. So it's
mm,
like, the Ramones, Jimmy Buffett, David Bowie, you know, Leonard Skinner. It's
mm.
all in there. And then of course country. I mean, I grew up in Austin, Texas, so Willie
Yeah.
Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Jerry Jeff Walker, Dolly Parton. Those are all like major influences. And for me, it's like I also love exotica music, Martin
Yeah.
Denny.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the last track on Good Timing is my attempt at an exotica song.
Okay.
Um, you know, and so it kind of ends up being, a thanks slideified exotica song, but it's like
Yeah.
that's like my exotica through my filter, right? And
Right.
I did. It was a while where we were just kind of going in and cutting songs, and I was kind of just what I was doing is I was taking songs that just like worked together as a single
Mm,
because I originally wanted to do like 7 inches,
okay.
and then I was kind of like looking at these four songs that we had done, and I was like, these all work great together. And
Hmm.
and then I was working on this Exotica song, and I was like, this would work great as a B-side to like a record for this. And then I think this radio station reached out to me. Sorry, radio station, I forget which one, asking me to make a stinger for them. And I got totally like sidetracked, of course. But I was like, it would be so cool to kind of make like a thanks light radio stinger for this record. Almost kind of
Wow.
like you're tuning in to a record station introducing the record and as almost like a concept. So it slowly kind of crystallized, and I knew that I wanted them all to be together and I wanted them to have this kind of vibe. But I feel like this record's kind of set me off in this direction, which I really like, where I want to make like kind of like, you know, the band Grandaddy, if you're listening to them.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
I love Grandaddy so
Yeah.
much. I'm so glad they're touring again. I want to go see one of their shows so badly.
Yeah.
Oh,
They just had a couple of reissues too, of
oh God,
the
they're so
sophomore
good.
slump, and just outstanding.
Absolutely phenomenal records. Huge part of my, and Grandaddy kind of like, I realized like Jason Lytle is like just a huge influence in that he really does just kind of blend. He like blends aha with like country, with grunge, with all these cool sounds. And like, you know, I think without even realizing it, I kind of, you know, a lot of artists do that, right? You love, you want to make what you love. And so for me, it's like I'm kind of shooting for this more country, laid back country, tropical rock music. I don't even psych, and of course psychedelia.
I think you nailed it with it. I mean, it's 6 tracks, but I mean the last track's 9 minutes. But it's they're catchy. They're like they swoon you into like the weekend.
Thank you. That
you know,
so cool.
I think
I
the
love that.
songwriting is solid, and I love the arrangement. I think how you sequence those the songs together, it just really builds and builds, and it's not you can't pull it out as a single. Let me just listen to Costa Rica. It needs to be followed by Stand in the Sunshine, or it's like it doesn't feel complete, you know. So I really admire how you put those songs together in that sequence.
Thank you.
And they all do have that feel, that like warm sunshine tropical hug to them. And the washed out vocals, I mean, I just love that. Like that. And that's what Grandaddy was so good at too, kind of washing those out or putting them through like an old radio speaker or like all kinds of different experimenting, you know, just trying things out. So when you said that, I'm like, yeah, he's doing this. That's what he does. It's so accurate how you describe that, Zane.
That's amazing. Really cool. I love that you're able to draw that connection. Like, I mean, straight up. Well, it's like you'll like emulate what your heroes do, right? So it's like on California Sober, there's this one section where I'm like, dinner for in Beaver Space. There's like a call and response in there. And I was like straight up like, I totally got this idea from Grandaddy. I totally just like borrowed this technique from Grandaddy. I feel like I've heard this in Grandaddy songs and now I'm able to apply it here. But I mean, that's just like, to me, that's the ultimate compliment, right? I mean, they're my heroes. I'm
totally, well,
you know, and
you've been doing this for a long time, so you've had lots of practice at your craft, and it totally shows. You're putting stuff out. Like I've just felt that, and I try to start with the first records, and I like go through the years, and I've really just felt this progression. And I've seen more collaborators, you know, come in and come out, like you said. Like sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's new, but it keeps it always fresh and kind of exciting because you're not really expecting what, you know, like I never expected Good Timing to sound like it does. Like it just was like really fun. So I appreciate that. So Zane, as we kind of wrap things here, again, thanks so much for this. This has been really fun.
Thank you so much, Chris. This has been a
great
blast.
Stories, great examples. It's just been really, really fun to kind of get to see your story a bit. But what can we look forward to? You said you had 3 records kind of here and there and everywhere. Are you heading out on the road? Is there anything that you could tell us what's coming up for Thanks Light?
I think right now I'm just really focused on recording. And there'll be some like solo out of town shows. We just had a huge album release party that was a blast. Cool. We have I'm gonna play like an acoustic set with a couple other members at Antone's Records here in Austin for another little showcase. And then I think, you know, regional out of town shows here and there. But really, you know, I'm focusing on these next 2 records. You know, Good Timing is a fluke in a way, but I want to continue that because Thanks Light songs are just like sometimes so dark and pessimistic sometimes, you know, and sometimes they're not. They're brighter and happier. And so I'm really trying to like sequence all these songs I'm writing into albums that are like cohesive. That's like my goal. And so I kind of have this like really bright, happy country tropical record I'm working on, and then this like really melancholy other record. So there's going to be probably getting tracked simultaneously just to save time in the studio setups and stuff like that. But yeah, just tracking. Cool. I would just want to put out a lot of music in the next couple of years, and
amazing.
Have a really good on with my collaborators. So
yeah, totally. It's good when you're like, kind of like you said before, when lightning strikes, it feels like lightning striking again. Like, and you're on this great thread right now. If we can anticipate something similar to this record that you're working on, life is beautiful. Right so on. Thank you. Yeah, I love this thread that you're on right now. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you a lot, and wish you all the best with the next albums coming out. And thanks. Whenever you have a next record coming, Zane, we could just keep talking for hours. I know it, but I want to respect our time. Man.
All the time.
I'll definitely reach out come the next record, and we could continue this.
I would love that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Honestly, I really appreciate your in-depth look into our music, my music. It really means a lot. So thank you.
Cool. I love it. So keep it up.
Right on.
1, 2,
cheers.
3. We down in Costa Rica. 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 Across from old Antigua, I found my place of peace, just south of warm Belize. And if I can't go to Costa Rica, I'll bring Costa Rica to me. And if I can't find happiness, I'll grow a happiness tree and bring Costa Rica to me. Kiss me goodnight. And if I can't go to Costa Rica, I'll bring Costa Rica to me. And if I can't find happiness, I'll grow a happiness tree and bring Costa Rica to me. We'll grow a happiness tree. Costa